Hello, lovely people. How are we all today? Good, I'm hoping. So I have a new pot mould from Temu that I purchased. It's got a butterfly lid, as in you hold the butterfly's wings to lift the lid off. And it's quite a deep mould, as you can see. There are butterflies around the outsides and then kind of diamondy shapes. True to form, I haven't used it before. You know what it's like, order it, put it away, thinking I'll do that soon, and there we are. Anyway, so it's out today so that I can make it. So I have, using my Apex resin, which is all very new to me, and I've put some nice kind of pinky purple glitter in. And another one has a purpley foil in. This is the pinky kind of gold and silver and purple in this one pot. I'm not sure where I got this one from, guys. I'm sorry. Yeah, can't honestly remember. And yeah, there's the glitter in the resin there, as you can see. Not sure how much this is going to hold, although it is quite a deep pot. Obviously, there's quite an emptiness in the pot. You know what I mean? It's not one that is a lot of resin. So yeah, that's good for me. Good for the pocket. So yeah, the resin's mixed up, and I've just given it a light spritz with some isopropyl alcohol. I'm hoping that I don't, oh, this is me showing you another butterfly that has flowers on. So sorry about that. Obviously the doorbell always goes when you least expect it. Anyway, sorry, back to it. So this is some butterflies, some smaller butterflies that I've brought down because, as I say, I may end up with leftover resin. This is one that came at the same time and has like a little child fairy on it, which I already have one of those, and it is quite cute. Anyway, I'm starting by putting the glitter resin in and trying to give the butterflies wings a little squidge, because as I said, that's the part that you use the butterfly's wings to lift the lid off the top of the pot. So yeah, I need to make sure there's no bubbles in there, and it's easy enough to do. I wasn't sure because it's quite a firm silicone, but it was actually easy enough, so that was good. And now I can top it up with some more resin. There's no glue in here. I did contemplate putting some colour on the butterfly's wings before I added the resin. So I'm going to leave that to cure now, because I only want the glittery part in the wings, which is why I've brought down these other butterfly moulds to do. And I've just realised I should be spritzing it just in case, because there are lots of there's a lot of detail in this one, you know, with flowers and wings and the little person in there. Not sure if it's an angel or a fairy, but it's quite cute. As I said, I have used one once before. I think Temu are good at, you know, it's like they see you've had it once before, but before your delivery comes, they obviously entice you back in with, you can get this that should be like £2 something. We'll give it to you for a penny. And you think, oh yeah, I'll chuck that in my cart. And then before you know it, you're like, oh, I've already got one of these, because by then that order that you'd forgotten about has arrived. Anyway, maybe that's just me. I hope not, though. Still. But this one, as I said, easy enough to fill, easy enough to demold. It is just making sure that obviously there's something just to yeah, just to kind of make sure there's no bubbles around all the little fine detail. So that depends on obviously how you want to do it. I find alcohol spritz is the best way. Move that one to one side and bring on one of the others. I have the little double-winged butterfly and the butterflies with the little like flowered wings. So again, just give them a light spritz. I'm not sure which one at this point I was going to do, if I had enough to do all three, or what, but yeah, anyway. So this is one that has the flowers on his wings. And again, these are super easy to demold. They're not difficult to pour, and they're really easy to demold. It's that kind of heavier silicone that's often used for candles and things. Or sorry, not for candles, but for candle molds, because obviously wax is for candles. I'm waffling. Sorry. Anyway, just scooping the glitter in. I don't want it to be over poured. I usually just, I often just fill these with leftovers, and then I turn them into magnets or pin badges or a little brooch or something. And yeah, I often just take them, put them in my bag or my pocket when I'm out and about and give them to people, you know. Random acts of kindness. Yeah, because that does make you feel good as well as the person who receives it. And I do like to make people feel good about themselves. That was me undecisive as to where to put it. The reason I'm having to do a talk over on this one today is the mic died partway through. So I'm waffling away. And yeah, and when I was playing it back, I was thinking, where's the sound gone? And then I realised when I sort of tried to check the microphone, I realised that that had gone off and it had died. And I'm usually pretty good at keeping the sound all, you know, up on that. Anyway, as you can see, as if by magic, a second lot of resin has appeared. There's not much coming out in this one though, colour at the moment. I will need to definitely make sure I put some, you know, some more of something in there. Because there's no glue in it, the you know, the glitter will sink and it will be left very pale. Because that one glitter was a mixture. Oh, a double-winged butterfly now. Again, this was another Temu one. So much of my stuff comes from Temu. As much as I love some of the other makes, it's either, well, it's generally the cost of them, obviously, because it has to come out of my everyday money, my everyday spending money. So, you know, it would normally go on groceries or bills and things. So, yeah, if I can save a few pounds, I will do. But every now and then, you know, you've had a birthday or it's Christmas or something, I like to treat myself if I've been given some money to something from Into Resin or something, because I love their stuff. Again, that's another mold that is really easy to demold from. Doesn't take any effort at all, really. And I very rarely have any issues with bubbles or things. Again, I think it's just a case of I kind of open the mold up and let the resin go right in. It's kind of a bit like stretching it open as such. Anyway, just keep pouring in, slow and steady wins the race with this one. Again, just trying to make sure it's gone in everywhere it needs to go in. Yeah. Well, oh, another mold, another butterfly mold. We obviously opened the butterfly drawer. Anyway, while we were here, I would like to say a huge thank you to all my lovely subscribers. The number is rising all the time, and that's purely thank you to you guys for helping to get my name and my videos out there. I appreciate you all so very much. I honestly do. And yeah, I hope you're all having a lovely day. I hope you're enjoying whatever you're doing. I hope you're doing well. I'd had clearly mixed up, as you can tell, far too much. Far too much. I think it was because I was contemplating pouring the pot as well as just the lid. You know, just the butterfly in the lid. I contemplated doing the pot and then changed my mind. So kind of went down and grabbed every possible butterfly I had. as I say, it's at that point that you suddenly think, oh, I actually have quite a few, because those two pink ones are also the ones with the flowers. And that's my ever faithful purple metallic pigment paste, which I love. And again, that was another buy from Temu. And that was a colour I was contemplating using for the pot, but I wasn't sure if it was going to be too strong. Do you know what I mean? A bit too much, that I might, you know, I'd kind of lose the glitter that I wanted as well. So yeah, so you're just going to have to wait and see what I do with it. Will I colour the butterflies individually or not? We'll have to see. And this is near enough finished this off, at which point I will leave these all to cure. Just trying to get rid of the last kind of dregs into the pot that are left. Sorry about that, guys. I'm feeling a little bit, not coldy, but definitely a little nasally at the moment today. It's really, really strong winds. So I don't know, I think maybe it just got me when I was outside earlier. Anyway, time to wipe up for now. As I say, this metallic purple paste I absolutely love. It is gorgeous. I'm just going to show you a tiny rub on my glove, although it doesn't really give it any justice or show you any justice. You can see it there. It is beautiful, really, really bold, really strong, but so shiny. Yeah, stunning. And there is the Let's Resin alcohol ink that came with one of their kits. And I also have these kind of semi-purpley colours that I was thinking of going with, which were free sample from Create and Bloom. I've used them a few times. Anyway, I'm going to leave this lot to demold, well, to cure first, and I'm back. And I decided I was going to brush some mica onto the butterflies in the pot, but only the butterflies. I didn't do anything with the rest of the pot. I just decided I wanted to make sure the butterflies had a little pop of something. So yeah. Sorry, the dog's decided she's heard something. I don't know if you heard that in the background. I apologise if you did. So obviously I'm just touching the mica powder and burnishing that on as best as I can. You can just see it there in the to the left of me, at the top of your screen. Again, I'm going to mix up some of the Apex, that's their multi-purpose epoxy. And I have some different purple glitter and some Let's Resin ink. So I decided to do the ink and that as opposed to the metallic pigment paste. So that I used was the mould mica powder, which came with one of the coaster kits, which is lovely. But yeah, I was still so unsure as to how I wanted to do this. So I wanted the butterflies to really pop. Yeah, there's a different glitter again. That's a chunky, like the hexagon shaped chunky one. And I was so undecided. I was saying at this point, I think I'll pour it, sorry, to the bottom of the butterflies in one and then do a different color or a different shading further up. As I said, I was just so unsure as to what I wanted to do or how I was going to do it. There is the first mix of epoxy, and I'm just tipping the glitter into that, I believe. Sorry, it's off screen at the moment. Yeah, I was laughing because it's the hexagon, the chunky ones, and it's in that little tiny shaker pot, which they will not come out of because it's a chunky hexagon. So off comes the lid and in it tips. Well, I tip it. I tip it in, whatever. Anyway, so I poured it in. There we go, that's better. and just slowly mixing it around because I had already put the resin in the vacuum chamber or the debubbler, as I normally call it. So trying to mix it slowly. I am putting in a couple of drops of, well, I think I put in 1 drop of the resin, Elmer's clear glue, just to try and, because it is so chunky, just to try and keep it floating and not sinking now, which I hadn't done earlier on with the butterflies and the butterfly on the pot lid. So yeah, let's make room for the big pot. And in it goes. Which brings its own issues anyway, purely and simply because, yeah, obviously I really shouldn't have spritzed down there because of already painting the mica on. So I was trying my best to avoid it, but as we know, it always lands where you don't want it to. But yeah, I hadn't really thought, once I'd added the Elmer's glue, how thick it gets, and to try and just pour it down the sides wasn't going to be easy, but there we are. Just a little spritz of the alcohol in the lid as well, because obviously that can be poured in a minute as well. And as I said, I keep saying I'm just going to pour it to here, but it's so thick it just wants to do whatever it wants to do. So yeah, it really was a catch-22. And I think I would have been better with a completely different color to purple glitter, because of the purple butterflies, you end up not really being able to see the butterflies that I'd already put the purple powder on, just because, yeah, I should have gone for something completely different. And then they would have popped, whereas they end up kind of like, there's a butterfly, I think. But there we go. Live and learn. We make mistakes, it happens, we move on, we try and remember to not make them again. But I often do make them again because I completely forget about it at another time. And as you can see, it went up further than I thought it was going to as well. Sorry guys, I'm using my old tripod for this as well. And so it holds the camera at a different angle. And I'd forgotten why I'd kind of purchased another one. So it was giving a different view than this one, which my arm keeps getting in the way of. So I do apologize. And as you can see at this point, it's already come up higher than I thought it was going to. So it's at this point, I just think, do you know what? Let's just put some ink and some other glitter, some of the finer glitter, and we'll just mix it and pour. As I said, it was quite nice, this pot, because you don't actually get, or you don't actually need as much resin as you think you do, because there's such a void in it. It's such an, such a sort of wide pot, if that makes sense. So the ink and the finer glitter, the finer purple glitter, has gone into the pot lid to go behind the butterfly in there. And I'm just using a little micro brush to try and go around and make sure I have no bubbles. I always feel so difficult with these, so kind of, I don't know, cack-handed, I suppose. I can see why people use those like bubble ones. They look quite good. I've seen a few American YouTubers saying they have them from, I don't know, one of the art places over there. I can't remember now. I actually saw Crazy Gas Lady this morning. She had been sent one by somebody as well, by the lady that owns the craft place. But yeah, once again, my arm is in the way. I apologize. Anyway, as I said, guys, thank you very much to all my lovely subscribers. I'd also like to say thank you to everyone who watches my videos all the way through, and anyone who likes and comments on my videos. I'm quite open. If you want to put a message in there of something in particular that you'd like to see be made, or rather be tried to be made by me, then that's absolutely fine. I will do my best to do that for you. I do like to make people happy, so yeah, if you put it in there, I will do my very best. Doesn't matter how chicken I'm feeling about doing it, I'm going to do it for you, assuming obviously that I actually have the mold that you would like me to use. Yeah, if you want to see me do some jewelry, we'll do some jewelry. If you want to see me use some particular colors, we'll do particular colors. Trays with stickers or whatever, yeah, just give me a shout, let me know, and we'll see. I'll try my very best to do that for you. So I'm just mixing up some of the fine glitter again and a little bit of the Let's Resin purple ink. And you can see there's glue in it. So once again, it's like blah, 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 blah. It's all smoothie. It looks all smoothie style, which is how we always used to say to my children, as it was said to me, for the SNOTTY. Yeah, we replaced it with smoobs. And my children now do the same. Well, my son that has children says the same to his. So yeah, you can see it's almost full. So it really didn't need an awful lot at all. It was just, yeah, just didn't need much, didn't require much resin at all. And I'm just going to use the micro brush to try and make sure there's no bubbles around the edge. I did as to whether I would need a deep pour, to be honest. Anyway, now we are back for demold. It's nighttime, the lights are on in the room, and it's casting a huge shadow. I'm very sorry. The pot's still warm. So I've decided to start with, oh, got some overpour there, to start with the little butterflies. So I've started with a little double-winged butterfly. Ta-da! There's the first one. Not bad considering it was just literally some chunky glitter and some resin, some clear resin. This is one of the little flowery butterflies, as in he has flowers on his wings at the front. It's a matte finish, but a little bit of pen. I always find a little bit of chrome pen highlights the petals and things on his wings beautifully. That one's the same. Little matte floral winged butterfly. And this is the same, but from a different seller on Temu. And another of the same. So yeah, there's at least four magnets there that I can make up. This is a larger double-winged butterfly. Again, still from Temu, but it is quite a bit larger. It's beautiful, this one, I like this. But again, it needs a chrome pen or something, chrome marker. You can see the difference in the two sizes is what I'm comparing there. It's the one in my left hand is deeper as well as wider and longer, yeah. But they're both beautiful, just in different sizes. And then this one, can't really see it very well. This is the one that has the kind of either angel or fairy. I'm really not sure what she is, but that's the tip of her wing there. I wasn't sure when I pulled it out. I thought, oh, there's something spiky there, or is it his little antennae or something? But no, it's the tip of the, let's go with fairy. So it's the tip of the fairy's wing. So it is meant to be there. Now on to demolding the lid. At this point, this is when I'm thinking, oh, please make sure the wings are there for the top of the pot lid. all the glitter sank because obviously I hadn't put any glue in this one, so it did sink. But I don't actually, I don't mind it because it kind of all sunk down to, well, obviously to the top of the pot, so it gave it a really nice colour. So from the side it's just a dark purple alcohol ink colour, but from the top where the glitter all sank it just looks lovely, I thought, lovely and sparkly where the glitter had all settled. So yeah. And now this one that I was hoping and praying didn't go all bubbly and, you know, didn't flash cure or anything. Everything seemed to be okay. As I said, I thought it was a disappointment because you can't really see where I'd coloured the butterflies prior. You can just about if I put my glove behind, my white glove. But yeah, it was a bit disappointing. Partly, I think some of it came off when I spritzed the alcohol in, but also, yeah, the colour from the glitter was a lot stronger than I thought it was going to be. Although looking at it now in this slide, it's kind of going green and blue, but it was basically purple pink with a little bit of gold and silver when it's in the pot. But how it looks, you know, once it's actually in the resin was quite different. And that fitted together beautifully. Obviously, I wasn't going to leave it on there and let it stick and attach itself to never be removed again because it needs time to obviously cure, fully harden. Anyway, guys, wherever you are, I hope you're happy. I hope you're healthy. I hope you like the piece I've done. I want to thank you all again for joining me. Look after yourselves, be happy, have fun creating whatever you're doing. Yeah, bye for now. Hope you'll join me again another day. Take care, guys. Look after yourselves. Bye.